Welcome everybody. We're Home-Based Games. It's Magical Monday, which means Harry Potter time.
We are going to delve into one of the Heir of Slytherin characters, which I'm actually pretty excited about, Katie Bell.
Actually, both of these decks actually have tons of Heir of Slytherin cards.
Nice, cool. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to peek through any of the cards yet, but yeah, so it'll be fun to try some of these fan cards out.
Yeah.
See how they go.
Yeah, so they I know when I was looking through this Quidditch deck, which was interesting because it's actually not a pure Quidditch deck. It's Quidditch and Charm Splash, which is different.
Yeah.
And they're not using like a splash
character.
A splash, yeah, starting character. So you actually have to have both lessons.
Interesting. All right. Well,
so this deck's kind of lesson heavy.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. A quick flip to our bracket. So we're in that last spot on the left-hand side where we have Professor Spout and Katie Bell. And we'll just get right into it.
Yeah, and these are actually sorted, and we don't have deck lists, so we can probably just go through them pretty quickly if you want to start with your deck.
I agree. So I am playing with Professor Spout. She essentially provides Magical creatures lesson. That's probably one of her biggest benefits here. And then each of your plants has 2 more health. And I know there were some plants created in the Heir of Slytherin cards. There were some originally, but there were more created in the Heir of Slytherin
There
cards.
are Heir of Slytherin plants in that deck.
Yes, for sure. So we'll have plant deck essentially. So there's 4 copies of a Bowtruckle, 2 copies of Dobby, 4 Guide to Household Pests, 3 Petrifying Stare, 2 Cobra Lily, 2 Dragon-Dung Compost, 3 copies of Greenhouse 3, 4 copies of Halloween Feast, 4 copies of Fumos. Oh no, 3 copies of Fumos. Apologies.
I think it's 4.
3. Oh, just 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 4 copies of Eat Slugs. 4 copies of Nurture. 4 umbrella flowers, and then 4 leaping toadstools, and then it's all charms lessons to make up the difference to 60.
All right, and then this is Katie Bell, who I actually don't even know what she does.
If there is a match in play, whenever a card, yours or an opponent's, does damage to you, it does 1 less damage.
Oh, interesting.
So she's kind of damage mitigation a little bit.
Yeah. Helps you stay in the game a little longer.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got 3 copies of Muddy Practice, which is pretty popular card, I think, in Quidditch decks. New match. This is called Winter Match. And then what else? That's 2 copies of Winter Match. Then 4 copies of a new card, Circling the Goalposts. I think the other Quidditch deck we had on stream was using this card too, so it must be a good card for Quidditch. 3 copies of the old classic Power Play. Another new card, new Slytherin Seeker.
Apologies for the Star Wars sleeves, guys. We're when Dragon Shield releases their Hogwarts and Harry Potter themed sleeves, we're gonna go ham on them.
I've already pre-ordered a box of each house.
So,
like a full case of 10?
Case of each house.
Yeah, of each house. It's already pre-ordered.
So it won't be forever.
Yeah. So we're just using old sleeves because when you build 8 decks for a for a stream, you start to run out of sleeves.
You do.
All right. Ouch. We got 4 copies. And if you missed it, sorry, there was 4 copies of New Slytherin Seeker. Or no.
3.
3 copies, I'm sorry. 3 copies of New Slytherin Seeker, and then 4 copies of Ouch. This is another new card, and man, do I love this art.
Immobulus.
This is sweet art.
Mm-hmm.
It's a card I kind of wish was in foil. I might have to get a foil proxy made.
Well done, Bonnie. Says he sees no lightsaber, only a wand.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard this, but Disney announced in some kind of like shareholder kind of meeting on new stuff that they're doing at the parks that they've actually created a working lightsaber that you'll be able to use in the parks.
What?
I know. Like, I don't know how the technology works, but apparently in this investor's call, the guy had the hilt of the lightsaber and like showed it off, and like
Crazy.
it was like a game, kind of like this game changer, and it's like super hush hush. They didn't like film it or show it off. Only like in person people got to see it, and I just got myself.
Except it's already apparently leaked.
Well, it's leaked that they have it, but they haven't seen it yet.
Gotcha.
You know, and so it's quite the thing. And so it made me think, I'm like, all right, well, how long till we go to Hogwarts at Universal and they've got working freaking wands?
Well, in all fairness, they kind of already have that.
Well, they have the stuff.
Because they have the window displays that activate.
Yeah, but I'm talking like a wand that like projects a Patronus or something.
Oh,
like
sure.
some craziness.
Yeah.
So I have 4 copies of this Immobulus in this deck.
Yep.
And then...
Quaffle.
Do you want to say it?
Quaffle. Not waffle. Quaffle.
Quaffle. I was telling Patronus the word quaffle. If you've ever seen the Ant-Man movie, there's the character that says waffle.
Yeah. Want a waffle?
Want a waffle? Every time I hear the word quaffle, I just think of that. And it's I like picturing the guy saying, want a quaffle? So there are 4 copies of Quaffle in this deck, which is also a Slytherin card. 2 copies of Break with a Banshee. Now, this is something I'm not a Harry Potter nerd enough to know what all these special books are, that all these cards that they made.
They're all the books that Gilderoy Lockhart wrote.
So they're all BS?
Yeah. Well, no, they're not BS.
Oh.
He stole the stories from real witches and wizards and then cast memory charms on the real people so they wouldn't know that he stole their stories.
Oh, gotcha. So the stories are real?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
But Gilderoy Lockhart is a great big fraud.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Vaughn, are there animatronics around the park that you can hit and dismember with a lightsaber? That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, so they had some kind of drawing that they showed, and they showed like a person holding a lightsaber, and he was deflecting like a laser blast.
Oh, snap.
And it looked like in some
I'm
kind
gonna
of...
fail so hard at that.
Yeah.
I can't even hit a softball.
Well, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be some kind of technology where you have the lightsaber up, and you go to bring it up to block, and the laser's going to come. It's going to come right to your lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's to make it idiot proof.
Yeah, because there's no way in heck I could ever in a million years deflect a bolt.
Nobody can unless you have the Force. Like nobody could actually use a stick and deflect something. Like.
Well, I'm just saying, like I couldn't hit it. Like I couldn't actually use the stick to intercept something that was coming at me.
No one can. Is what I'm saying.
Totally. Could.
It's hard.
I mean, I'm not saying.
I've done it a few times with a Nerf dart, but I've gotten lucky.
Yeah, like you could do it because you have the hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
I do not have hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, we each have our talents. 3 Bewitched Snowballs. 4 copies of Rope Bind. And then, wow, lessons. So there's 8 charm lessons and 16 Quidditch lessons in this
snap.
set.
All right, yeah.
So 24, that
is heavy.
That's magic. That's like a magic deck mana base. So I'll be really interested to see if I get flooded out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Fun, that would be cool of like having a Harry Potter ride where like while you're on the ride,
you're flicking your wand to like interact with. That's what I'm saying.
That'd be cool.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, I would go on that ride a lot.
I mean, we already have gone on those rides a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many times? I'm surprised I went on the Gringotts ride as much as I did.
Well, because we went when it was the special Harry Potter weekend, and at night
There was
they
no
closed
line.
the park except for badge holders to this special event. So yeah, there was no line to any of the things. So we just went and looped it like three
Yeah, I'm just
times, I
surprised
think.
because both of us aren't really a fan of roller coasters, and there's
Yeah.
that like one
But it's
drop
like
in
the
the first
3D,
30 seconds.
yeah, but it's more of like the 3D one, kind of
Yeah.
like the Spider-Man.
But they do drop you in the very beginning of it.
Yeah, but
it's
probably
fast.
like
It's fast.
it's probably like 6 feet. It just feels worse because
Yeah.
they've like
Yeah.
got the 3D or 4D with the wind and the stuff.
It's
You know
pretty
what
awesome,
I
though.
mean? But yeah, it's a fun one. Nothing beats the butterbeer.
Unless you're hanging out with Leander Smith.
Well, that's fair. He's just not allowed to have 8. The pumpkin juice is quite good too.
Everything about that park was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But we better have liked it as much time as we spent there.
Although they have like redone the cauldron cakes and they look freaking amazing now. I'm like super.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At the park, they've redone
Yeah.
it? How did you find that out?
Because I'm B and I find this stuff out because I
Okay.
see articles about it and I read because
And
I'm
you don't-
interested
and
in
you don't
it.
tell me?
Well, I mean,
I tell you all the random articles I read. That's interesting.
I didn't think you'd be that excited about cauldron cakes. But they look like little cauldrons with like fire frosting coming out of them. They look really cool.
That does sound pretty awesome.
Hmm.
All right, shuffling up my Kylo Ren deck here.
Yeah, sorry.
Double apologies. Not only Star Wars, but the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, it's known amongst us that we're not the biggest fans of the new
To
stuff.
be fair, I
but
bought
that's
all
okay.
of these sleeves before I saw The Force Awakens.
It's true.
So
It's true.
that's where my merchandising ended.
Yep. Well, no, it's not. You also bought all of the a bunch of the 6-inch Black Series figures before the movie came out.
Well, I'm saying, but that's where everything
Oh,
ended
like when you saw the movie.
before
it
the movie.
ended.
Yeah, once I saw the movie,
Yeah, it was over.
that's when it ended.
Yeah. All right. Oops.
All right.
Button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is another wonky matchup because I have like these things that kill your creatures actually in Quidditch.
Yeah,
But
that's
I don't
true.
know if your creatures do any damage to me, so I don't know if I care. I don't know how that deck
Yeah,
works.
I don't know. Some of the
We'll
plants
find out.
might. All right, what are we rolling for?
Let's do cards.
Cards.
Yeah,
1,
one card.
2.
2 cards.
All right, you're going first.
And Katie Bell just reduces damage to me. So right, it's like I think 95% of it sold before the movie came out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a fair statement.
Yeah. I have a friend who actually works for Hasbro, and he told me that like they were just sitting on like
Truckloads.
pallets of extra like the Last Jedi merchandise.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, so it's crazy.
Something similar might have happened with the Fantastic Beasts movie because I know that obviously kind of.
I have
The second one didn't do as
24
good.
lessons in this deck, and I only have 1 in my hand.
Oh, lordy.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna put this back.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know what I got to thinking too, because we've been playing so much Marvel Champions.
Mm-hmm.
How sweet would a Harry Potter version be of like Marvel?
It would be amazing.
Right?
It'd be so good.
It doesn't even have to be like just a reskin, but a similar concept where
Yeah.
like you
Like,
each
you team up with different heroes and you fight different villains.
you team up with
I mean, in
different
all
witches.
fairness, it's kind of like Hogwarts battle, except you're not drafting as the game goes on. You know what I mean?
Right,
You just
but
have
like
your deck and
but
you
you're
fight
building
stuff.
decks, like
Right.
and you like you're building
You'd
witch-
have like your signature cards for your witch or wizard, and yeah, it'd be sweet.
Mhm, and the magical and the items, like
Yes.
you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
Harry's starting with his cloak
Uh-huh.
of invisibility, or
Yeah, it'd be sweet.
and then you'd have your allies like Hagrid, and,
Mhm.
you know. Oh,
It'd be cool.
yeah.
I
I had so many deep thoughts about it.
You're supposed to be having deep thoughts about our other game projects that we're designing.
I still have deep. I'm a creator. Remember, I'm in the clouds.
Yeah, Gold Leader had to take some personality assessment at work, and he realized that his like archetype in this particular personality test is the creator, which means they're like always thinking about stuff and can't actually implement any of it.
Yep. Yeah, they were trying
Which
to.
I laughed because I was like, oh, and that's why we're married, because I'm the one that actually goes and implements everything.
Yeah.
Perfect pair. There you go.
All right. New hand. Well, I got one lesson.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to draw some.
Yep. So I'm going first.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to draw a card. And I'm going to play a lesson.
Yep.
And then I'm going to use an action to draw a card.
Yep.
And use an action to draw a card. And I'm done.
How did you play a lesson for free?
I cheated.
Okay.
Done.
Did you draw a card for the start of your turn, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how.
Are you positive you did? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I have
I was
9.
gonna say, I'm like, wait a second, that was 3 actions.
You can add the cards.
All right. Draw a card, and I'm just gonna do lesson.
All right.
Go ahead.
Draw. Action. Draw. Action. Draw. Go.
Uh-oh. Draw. Let's.
And I was scoffing that I'd be lesson flooded.
Well,
Look
that's
at
how
all
that's
that
gonna
juice.
go. Let's do lesson and
So Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising. I have not played the Harry Potter version of that game. It's by USAopoly, I believe, and there is like I want to say there's like 3 or 4 skins of that played. I've played Thanos Rising. And there's like a Darth Vader one, there's a Harry Potter one, and I think there's another one. There's 3 or 4. I heard the games are all the same though.
yeah, just reskins.
They're just reskins,
Sure.
which is not uncommon. USAopoly, a big portfolio of the work that they do is reskinning popular IPs like Star Wars Talisman and Monopolies and Risk and things like that.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Umbrella Flowers. Once per turn, you may let Umbrella Flowers take 1 damage. It would be directed at me. Kind of like Katie Bell.
Oh, okay. So it just takes damage.
Yes, it
Okay.
takes damage for me.
All right, you done?
Yes.
Draw. Hey, it's a lesson. We'll play a lesson. Then we're going to use an action to draw a card.
Okay.
And we're done.
Draw. Let's play Leaping Toadstools.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I wasn't a big fan of that game.
And a Bowtruckle. So the plants pretty much mitigate damage. It's kind of what they do. So this one has the same ability. Once per turn, you can let this take 1 damage that you were going to take. Bowtruckle, however, is a nice combo. When another one of your plants takes damage, this card does 1 damage to an opponent of your choice.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. These ones have beefy health. Bowtruckles only have 3 health because all plants get +2 health.
Oh, okay.
So damage mitigation, and Bowtruckle's like pew 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 pew.
Interesting.
Poke poke.
Okay, I'm gonna draw.
Mhm.
And I will play 2 lessons this turn.
All right.
Go.
Draw.
We are all Quidditched up.
I'm gonna draw as my first action. Second action, play a lesson.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw.
I'm not sure if there's a way for me to kill you other than Bowtruckles, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know.
This might be a T-Rex fistfight match with 2 decks that do damage mitigation. Welcome to the Garden Dome. Fair enough, Vaughn. I like your style.
All right. So I guess we'll use an action to play a Muddy Practice.
Sure.
And this card says either player may use an action to discard a card from his or her hand. To win, discard 5 cards from your hand. The winner does 10 damage to their opponent. You have to
Okay.
basically take an action 5 times and discard 5 cards from your hand to win this.
Got it. So as an action, you have to discard a card.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a miserable, it's like a miserably hard thing to accomplish.
Yes.
So I feel like Quidditch decks that want to have cards that like rely on having a.
Yeah, I mean, do you have even Catch the Snitches in that deck?
No.
Oh, so you just have to finish that the old-fashioned way.
It doesn't. They don't even care about finishing it. I think this is the style of deck where it's like it has cards that are like if it matches in play, do a thing, and they don't care about completing it. It's just miserable.
Sure.
So they just like let it because
let
they're
it
like
sit there and it's like, hey, if you want to discard all of these cards,
go for
go
it.
ahead.
Otherwise, I'm
Skip
getting a little
5
advantage because
actions.
it's in here. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
skip 2.5 turns to get rid of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So my second action will just be play a Quidditch lesson.
Got it.
Because
Okay.
honestly, the first time I saw Bludger
Sure.
was like, if you have a match in play, it deals 3 damage here.
I
I was like, I was trying to pair this up with Bludger.
Sure.
Because that was my thought behind it. I
Right.
was like, this is miserable. No one's going to want to get rid
Yeah.
of this.
But taking 3 damage per turn
But
might
everyone
be
just
enough of an
kept, but everyone
incentive.
just kept killing my Bludger instead, so it didn't matter.
I guess that's fair. All right, draw on a card.
Fawn, welcome to the Garden Dome.
I know, it's great. Let's play Greenhouse 3. Once during each player's turn, when he or she uses an action to play a plant, he or she gets 1 additional action.
Well, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it works quite well. So that was my first action. My second action is going to be to play a second Leaping Toadstool.
Okay.
And I get a free action because I played a plant, which I'm going to use to play another Bowtruckle.
Oh my gosh.
I don't really know how I win,
I don't know either.
but it's hilarious.
So, whenever another of your players do 1 damage, also you're.
Yeah, so like
the
these
Bowtruckles
take
are
damage.
gonna kill me.
Yeah, as you deal me damage, these absorb the damage, and then Bowtruckles redirect what they absorb back at you. Essentially.
Yeah.
Well, not redirect. They just also.
So I don't know
ping
how I
you.
kill you because everything I'm
Yeah,
doing.
it's like damage mitigation
This
galore.
is interesting. Okay.
It's really odd. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll find out.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty sure Bowtruckle is the only way for me to kill you, but maybe not. I don't remember what I said it was in this deck, so I'm done. You're
Okay.
up.
Draw.
Yes.
All right. What does this card do?
And none
Oh,
of
this
these things
card's
are
dead.
unique, so yeah, you could just have infinite or 4 because that's your deck building restrictions.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just figure this out.
Yeah, Vaughn, there might be. I don't know that there were cards. He's saying that there are some cards that allow you to damage your own creatures to do effects. I don't remember if I saw those or not.
I
but-
don't know. All right, I'm going to play a Circling the Goalpost, which just does 3 damage to you.
Sorry, to me.
Yeah, it says do 3 damage to an opponent, then draw a card. At the end of each of your turns, if this card's in your discard pile and a spell did at least 5 damage to an opponent, you may discard a card from your hand to put this card into your hand.
Okay, so you're dealing a total of 3,
Dealing 3 damage to you,
which means I can go 1, 2, 3,
I guess.
and I think these stack.
They each trigger.
They each are going to trigger, so I'm dealing you 6.
I think so.
That's hilarious. So because I have 2 copies of Bowtruckle, they're each going to see my other plants taking damage. And I can split it up because they each can take up to 1 when I take damage. And then when they see my other plants take damage, I deal 1 damage back. And because I have 2 of them,
Yeah.
each point of damage you're dealing me that gets absorbed by my plants deals 2 back to you.
Yeah, I'm pretty much dead.
It's hilarious.
I can't kill you. All of my cards in
I mean,
my
you
deck.
just have to eat through my plants.
Right. So yeah, I just have to do this, right? Like I don't think I have a choice.
I think you just have
Alright.
to eat through my plants and hope I don't
So
play more.
I'll do 5 damage to you.
Okay. Well, and I can only prevent 3 because I can only do 1.
Oh, gotcha. So I don't want to be doing 3 damage to us. I want to be doing 5.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
2, 3, but I'm reflecting 6 back at you again.
What? This is hilarious.
This is fantastic.
It's for you.
Yeah.
And then you have to discard a card.
I have to discard
Yeah,
card?
he or she chooses 1 card and discards it.
Okay. Decisions. I will discard a copy of Leaping Toadstools.
Okay. And then
Actually,
this.
no, I'm going to discard a Howling Feast.
This encircling the goalpost set. Oh wait, I have Katie Bell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can prevent one of that damage.
If there's a match in play, whenever a card, yours or your opponent, deals damage to you, it deals one less damage to you. Whenever. So those cards wouldn't deal me any damage because they only deal damage one at a time.
I don't know.
All right, rules lawyers.
If there's a match in play, whenever a card, yours or an opponent's, does damage to you, it does one less damage.
Right. And those Bowtruckles are all doing damage one at a time.
In ones. I don't know, maybe?
I think that's the case.
Huh. Yeah, maybe.
I think that's
Is this Katie Bell just like the straight up counter to this whole like strategy? That's interesting because yeah, these Bowtruckles see the damage on each one and then deal one damage back.
Right. And every time I get dealt a damage, I can reduce it by 1 with Katie Bell, as long as this is in play. It doesn't say limit or anything.
If there is a match in play, whenever a card does damage to you, it does one less damage. Yeah, maybe. That might just be the counter.
Okay, so these are all the cards I put in the discard pile. I'm going to shuffle them up and just put them on the... No, I'm just going to put them on the top of the deck. Just shuffle these.
Oh, sure, that's fine.
And I'm just going to completely randomize these.
So that's interesting. So it's worth it for me to get rid of these stupid matches. 100% worth it.
100%, yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah. We're learning.
Yeah, interesting.
This is actually having...
Game 2 is going to be drastically different than Game 1.
Yeah. I'm glad I remembered to check what Katie Bell did. Okay, and then at the end of my turn, I can, because I played a thing with 5, I get this goalpost card back.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Vaughn, I don't know the answer to it because he's like saying like because damage might be dealt simultaneously, like maybe instead of taking like the 3 in this situation, you would only take 2. I don't know the answer to that.
My thing is, this card says whenever one of your plants takes damage, this card does 1 damage to you.
Right.
So the card does 1 damage. When I would take 1 damage, it reduces it.
Right.
By 1.
Yeah.
So it would be 0.
I would think so. I lean more towards that than damage being dealt simultaneously and it's seeing the simultaneous damage and reducing it. Like I would agree more with.
I'm just reading the cards as a rules lawyer, and it just makes most sense this way. So I think you have to deal with this.
Yeah, we might have to ask the...
Yeah. All right, so here's what happened. At the end of my turn, this card says if I did at least... Oh, but I didn't deal 5 damage to an opponent. Lies. This is here.
Okay.
Okay, done.
All right, so draw.
So did you take any damage? No, right? No, you took 2.
No,
Yeah, because I dealt 5.
Okay, so then this is actually discard.
1, 2.
Discard,
all right, I dealt you 2.
Draw.
Okay. We've each dealt each other 2 damage.
Yeah. So...
This is like my brain hurts.
I know, right? I don't know. We might have to get the Air Slytherin guys to confirm or deny, and maybe we'll have to replay this match if we played it completely wrong.
Yeah, we'll find out afterwards. Either way, it's fun.
Okay, so let's play another Leaping Toadstool. Okay. Because I played a plant, I get an extra action.
Which you can use
to discard. Can use to discard 2 cards into that.
Yeah, and I don't see why you couldn't do it all at once like that. Like,
I could do action, discard. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, that was 3 actions.
I'm gonna draw.
So yeah.
I'm gonna
use.
I guess
I'll stack these guys up a little bit so you can see.
I'm gonna use an action to play power play.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not true. I'm gonna use an action to play a charm lesson.
And then you're gonna play power play.
And then I'll play power play.
Fair enough.
So, which is
deal 7?
play only if a match is in play. Deal 7.
Okay. So I can prevent 4.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then I would prevent all of it.
Right. Yeah. And then, so then I'm just taking 3.
You're just taking 3 damage.
So 1, 2, 3.
Okay. And then that's it.
All right. So draw.
Oh, the funny part is when you complete this, you'll also deal 10 damage to me. So,
yeah, but I have to get there.
Yeah.
So my first action is going to be to draw a card.
And I don't think I can, and maybe Vaughn or one of these guys said, I don't think like if I drew a second Muddy Practice and you've like completed most of it, I don't think I can play a second one. I think once a match is in play, it has to be.
I think so, because I think it's like adventures.
Yeah,
like you can't play a new one.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Unless you have Fred and George.
Right, I think
like specifically with event. Like I think anything like that.
I think so too.
I think it has to finish resolving.
Busted.
Yes, that would be so broken.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't hurt. Like if I finally get rid of it, it doesn't. You can still play a second one. But
Vaughn says needs some Dragon-Dung Compost.
That is in the deck.
There's two copies of that
in the deck. All right, so first action was just to draw.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to discard a card as my second action.
Okay.
So I've done that 3 times.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right, so draw. I'll play Ouch.
Okay, so 5.
5.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Take 1.
5.
Hilarious. And if Katie Bell wasn't in play, I would have taken 10.
Yes. So she just might be like the perfect counter to this strategy.
And so, I have nothing else to really do. Well, I guess I could. All right. This is stupid. I'm going to discard this card to this. And I guess I'll try to race you. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, okay.
I mean, if you're going to get rid of it, I might as well try to get rid of it too.
I mean, you can't beat me to it at this point.
I guess that's true.
So, like,
yeah, I guess that's
do something more relevant.
I don't have anything to do more relevant. I will. Yeah, I guess I could just draw a card.
Drawing a card is going to be better than discarding a card.
All right, I guess I'll draw a card.
You can't beat me to this.
Yeah, that's true.
At this point, so.
I'll draw another card.
And it needs to die so I can actually do my strategy. So, of course, you could probably just play another one as soon as I'm done, and then I host. But you know, it is what it is. All right, so draw a card.
Yep.
Ooh, interesting. So.
Vaughn's gonna check out the info on playing matches.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can't just overplay a match.
I don't think you can. I mean, regardless, I'm just gonna discard.
All right, so
both
this is
cards
gone,
as
and
my 2 actions.
And I'll take 10.
And you take 10.
All right.
Reduced by 1. So 9.
Okay.
Okay. And those were my 2 actions.
Okay. And it's my turn.
Yeah.
Draw. All right, so I'm gonna play another Muddy Practice.
Yeah.
And then I will out you. Take 1 damage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it.
Yep. And these all actually have 6 health because of Sprout, so that's why they're not dead yet.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, draw a card. We will play a 4th Toadstool. Absorb some more damage because we kind of have to.
And then you still get 2 actions.
And I get 2 actions, so I'm going to draw a card. And draw a card.
Okay, my turn. Draw. I'm going to discard Immobulus to a Muddy Practice and discard Immobulus to a Muddy Practice.
Okay.
And say go.
All right. Draw. I am just going to discard 2 cards into that.
Yep. My turn?
Yep.
Draw. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
Go.
Draw. Yep, I'm gonna do 2.
This is so silly. All
I
right.
mean, I'll make you skip the actions if you want to race me at it. Like, you do damage with your cards. These are not helpful to me.
I
So-
only do damage if my cards can do more than 6.
Well, sure, but you also just have to eventually eat through these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you eat through them, my defense is gone, and you're actually going to be dealing me all of this damage. So, like,
Yep.
I feel like your strategy needs to still just be dealing me as much damage as
I
possible.
just don't have the cards. I drew this.
Okay.
So it's an action.
So deal 3.
Deal 3, and I draw a card.
So 1, 2, 3.
Okay. And then I will discard a card to this
Okay.
to deal you 10.
Okay.
But
I can reduce.
you
Yeah.
can reduce it by
So-
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, apparently if there's a match in play, no one can play matches. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I'm only taking 5.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Oh, that would be so good.
Yes, it would. I've had to discard a couple of them, but I was like, at this point, I just needed to discard the cards into your matches.
Yeah,
because
but now that would be amazing.
I mean, obviously it would be, but.
All right, you're up.
All right, draw. First action, draw.
Mm-hmm.
Second action, draw.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Draw. I guess I'm just going to play Book of the Banshee.
Break with Banshee.
Break with the Banshee. Yep. That allows me to discard it and get a match back.
Oh, great. Yeah, during your turn, you may discard this card from play. If you do, choose a non-healing match with a printed power cost of 1 in your discard pile. Play it as if it were in your hand. Yeah.
That's my whole turn.
Yep.
Go.
Draw. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so we'll play another Umbrella Flowers.
Okay.
So I still have 2 actions.
Yep.
Which we will use to discard into this.
Okay. Done?
Yep.
Raw. I'll play a Rope Bind, deal 2 damage to an opponent, then draw a card.
Just 2?
Yep.
Okay. So 1, 2.
Do it again.
Okay. So 1, 2.
And you're up.
Draw.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch 2 in.
Okay. Done?
Yep.
Draw.
Dobby's actually a little interesting because, like, I can use him to prevent up to 4 damage and then make you return a non-healing spell or a non-healing card in play to your hand. But, like, against you, there's literally nothing. Yeah, we're a lesson. Like, it's not going to be
all right, I'll
super
power
helpful.
play.
So 7?
Yep.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
Are they May triggers?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to let them hang out. Well, let's see how many nurtures are in my discard pile. 1. Okay, so there's still 2 more in my deck. So yeah, I'll just take 4.
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to play new Slytherin Seeker, which will deal you 5 damage.
Okay.
And then if you have any creatures in play, opponent chooses one of their creatures in play and discards it.
Oh, okay. So 1. Just gonna swap that second. 1. I already did this.
This is what, 9 health?
8
They get +3?
plus 2.
Oh, +2.
Yeah. So I might just be taking the rest of this because everything has 1 health left.
Okay.
So it's 4 total
Yes.
after that.
Yeah.
So, oh,
You were going to get it hit no matter what. Is there any left?
yeah, there's 1 more.
Okay.
And then I have to discard 1,
Yep.
right? So I will just discard one of these toadstools, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe I just get rid of a Bowtruckle because you're always going to have a
They
match.
literally
in play at this
don't do
point.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you're always going to have a match
I
in play
agree.
at this point. So,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
So
all
you're
I
out.
got.
Okay,
Yeah.
so draw a card.
Those 2 actions.
Interesting. Okay. So draw a card.
Mhm.
That's my first action. Second action is just going to be to discard a card.
Alright, so I'm going to take 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
And I'm out.
All right, and this is gone.
Yep.
Those, draw a card. And I guess I will just take an action and discard a lesson to it. You're up.
Okay.
How many cards you got left?
11.
11? Okay.
Um,
I have 10 or 9.
1. Dragon-Dung Compost would also really help me right now because it's count the number of plants you have in play and then deal that much damage.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
All right, so draw a card. Draw a card. Oh, but we can't play it. It's 7. I drew the Dragon-Dung Compost, but it costs 7.
And you're 3.
So I can't play it.
They're 2 away.
Yeah. So that was my first action. Right? Oh, no,
Yeah.
did I? Yeah, that was my first action.
Yeah.
Second action, I mean, at this point, I think I just need to hope for a nurture. Okay.
Draw?
Yeah.
Deal 3.
Okay. So now I just kind of have to start killing things off. So 1, 2, 3.
And then all I can do is discard another one of these.
Okay.
So you're up.
Draw. Draw a card. First action. Second action, draw a card.
Okay. Draw. What does this stupid card do? Oh, I guess I should have been playing this card. I should read my cards more.
I don't know what card it is, but
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a new card. So.
I only have 5 cards left in my deck.
Yeah. And I got a Bewitched Snowballs. So I'll do 3 and make me draw a card.
Okay. So let's do 1.
Bowtruckle should trigger when your plants take any damage. Yeah.
2.
V the same. We understand that. The problem we're having is Katie Bell says as long as there's a match in play, whenever I would take a damage, you reduce the damage by 1.
Yeah, and we think
and the Bowtruckles each deal damage 1 at a time.
Yeah.
So I think it completely negates it.
Yeah. We could be wrong. And if that's the case,
so
we'll replay this match.
Yeah, literally the only damage that's been getting really through is honestly winning the buddy practice match, which is just awful.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Draw.
Which I think I'm going to get this one just because she's behind on muddy practices.
Yeah. Draw.
Is the nurture still in there?
Yeah.
Last card.
The last card in my deck.
We'll scoop it up.
All right. Yeah. At that point, I only had like 11 cards, so it was like by the time I could even complete that,
you're gonna run out of
I'm
cards.
gonna be out of cards anyway. So I was just like digging for
answers.
And
then you realized that you were less than short on the dung compost.
Yeah. Well, now that I know, now I know that, so I know I need to get to 7. All right. So yeah, it's a super.
Yeah. So if you watch this whole game. VD Sam, or how do you pronounce it? It's VD Sam's, right?
Yeah, VD Sam's.
If you watch this whole game, we probably made a million mistakes, but this whole interaction between this and the Bowtruckles was an awkward thing to play around.
It like makes me a little sad because I feel like this deck is actually really strong.
I think it's really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And Katie Bell just like happens to completely nerf it.
Yeah.
So I had some dead cards for sure.
I did too, but not many. I had some. Well,
discarding adventures is not useful at all. So I guess
unless I'm siding in a bunch of adventures, but it's not happening because my adventures are through the arch, which your deck's mostly creatures.
Yeah.
I've got 4 Riding the Centaurs, which prevents all damage done to you by your opponent's creatures. Which is just the Bowtruckle, but Katie Bell already does that.
Right,
so
exactly.
Why would I be sideboarding those in?
Yeah, because the Dragon-Dung Compost is an item that's dealing you the damage, so that wouldn't count.
Right. Argus Filch, I don't think you're siding in any adventures. So the only other card I could put in is Pep Talk.
I mean, literally the only thing I could put, I guess I could put in the other Dobbies just to prevent more damage.
All right, but I didn't have that many dead cards because I thought this was a dead card, but I was 100% wrong.
Choose an opponent during their next turn. Prevent all damage done to you by their creatures until. Or that creature? Oh yeah, you just didn't keep reading.
Yeah. Well, it says choose an opponent during their next turn. Prevent all damage done to you by their creatures until the beginning of your next turn. If one of their creatures takes damage, discard that card. So I think I have to play this on my turn. Then choose you. Then I play a spell that damages your creatures.
Well, but it's on my turn. So choose an opponent during their next turn. Prevent all damage done to you by their creatures until the beginning of your next turn. So like it's only on my turn. So you play this on your turn.
I don't think so, though, because it says...
That's exactly what it
says. Choose an opponent during their next turn.
Correct.
Let me finish. It says during their next turn, prevent all damage done to you by their creatures, period. So that's the thing that starts... But it also says, a second sentence, until the beginning of your next turn. If one of their creatures takes damage, you discard that creature. They're 2 separate sentences that do 2 different things. So... I think the second sentence of until the beginning of your next turn, if one of their creatures take damage, this card is active. So I think when I play this, the first sentence is active on the start of your next turn. The second sentence is active right away until my next turn.
I don't know.
I think that's the way that card works.
You and I are super rules lawyer.
Because it
lawyers for
says,
this stuff.
he says, an Immobulus then Fumos combo would be a cool creature sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says,
Okay.
Immobulus will prevent the damage during her turn, which is what I was saying.
Yeah.
It will also discard creatures you damage on his turn or is damage on her turn. It does both.
Yeah.
So I was correct. So yes, I should have read this card because I play this, then I play the spell that damages your creatures.
Right.
So I don't really need to sideboard anything. So this sideboard is basically, I'll show the sideboard. It's 3 copies of Pep Talk, which, I mean, I could sideboard this card, but I really didn't actually have, now that I think about it, I really didn't have too many dead cards.
I have a lot of dead cards, actually.
I didn't have that many, so, and I don't like this card, so I'm just not going to play with it. And then Argus Filch, there's just 1 copy, which she has no adventures, so that doesn't matter. 4 Riding the Centaurs, it's kind of, if I got Katie Bell, it's not really worth putting in my deck. And Through the Arch, not for her for the mostly all creature deck. Yeah, the creature deck seems to have a lot of things for dealing with other creatures, right?
The Petrifying Stare is useless.
Choose an opponent's character or non-roster creature in play. Shuffle that into their deck.
Because you don't have any other creatures.
I have no creatures and no characters, so that card's really dead.
Fumos dealing damage to my creatures when I can't just ping the damage back at you with my Bowtruckles seems really bad. Like, that's why you would deal your damage to your own creatures,
right.
Because the Bowtruckle just directs it at you.
Yeah.
But I'm not ever going to be able to do that unless you, for some reason, don't have a match.
Well, which
is going to be...
There'll be times you could do that where at the start of your turn, your first action is to complete the match. You get rid of the match, and then you Fumos with your second action.
The problem is your matches make me discard every card that I draw.
I'm just saying, I think they're...
Like, that whole game, I was drawing a card specifically to discard it because I had no cards in my hand. So, it seems like a wishful thinking to think that I'm going to be able to combo
I don't.
that off.
But you're also not going to be able to put all 10 cards. You're going to have so many. You're not going to have enough cards to even sideboard. So, I mean, I feel like if you're going to take out cards, like obviously these are helpful and these are very good. The rest of those cards are dead.
Yes.
So if these are the only dead cards, then go for it. Get rid of them all. But I think that
I'll just keep 1 Fumos just to keep it in case some weird fluke situation happens. But
that's what we were saying, Vaughn. Like, what rotten luck that we randomly matched these 2 decks up.
Super random.
There's been a couple of these matches in this I would say this round.
Yeah.
Where we felt like the matchups were incredibly unlucky against each other.
Correct.
Like there was a potion,
and it was totally random.
There was a potions deck that went up against a deck that like just absolutely obliterated it.
Yeah.
Like a creatures deck. But I feel like if that same creatures deck went up against this plants deck, the plants deck would have smashed it.
Oh, would have smashed it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this deck seems very strong, and I'm just sad that Katie Bell completely nerfs it.
Yeah, I would be very excited to play that deck in like a revival tournament.
Yeah.
That would be super fun.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why everyone wants Pomona Sprout foils.
Maybe.
I prefer the card that I can actually read over the hollow.
Yeah.
But that's just a personal opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just going with the original 60. Nothing fancy here.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could have put in the Pep Talks, but I don't know. I didn't know what cards to take out.
Yeah. The Eat Slugs is pretty bad too because it's deal myself 2 damage to draw a card. Which, like, again, I can have the plants absorb it, but I'm not dealing you. And like, I just need my plants to absorb as much damage as possible from you. Like, I don't want to be doing the trick of dealing my own plants damage to deal you damage.
You would if you had 3 Bowtruckles in play and no Katie Bell. It's just
100%.
Katie Bell that's ruining the day.
Katie Bell is definitely ruining my day, and it's making me very sad because I was actually really excited about a plant deck.
Yeah.
We might have to keep this deck list around for the next bracket. And...
When is the revival tournament? Because like I would like to play in it, but like the Tuesday night revival stuff is impossible. Like I'm cooking. I get home. Like by the time I cook dinner at 5:30, start cooking dinner like between 5:30 and 6, and then we eat at 6:30. So like, it's just impossible for me to play as early as they start.
All right. Oh lordy. Well, this is horrible. Mulligan. Let's break all those lessons up a little bit.
I've got lessons and cards, so I'm going to keep it.
Pretty much all lessons is not really what this deck wants to
do. Diaz, I don't know if it doesn't. I don't know if it doesn't.
It does not.
Okay. It does run like 3 copies of Argus Filch in the sideboard, so I guess if we were playing, she would be putting those. If I was putting in those Pep Talks, she would definitely be putting in those Argus Filches. Yeah.
All right, it is what it is.
All right.
Draw. Go with lesson and guide to household pests.
Cool.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna go with 2 lessons and pass the turn.
Draw. Lesson. Some Leaping Toadstools.
What do those do?
It's just prevent damage.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing
deal.
I had before.
Same deal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Draw. Lesson and lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Draw. Do second toadstool and umbrella flowers.
Okay. Done.
Yep.
Draw. Let's play a Quaffle.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, when you play this card, search your deck for a match. Reveal it and put it into your hand. So I guess I'll just grab a match.
Go in your hand, right?
Yeah, it goes in my hand. And then I guess my next action will be to play a break with a Banshee.
Sure.
And then I'm done.
Okay. Draw. Gonna load up on some umbrella flowers. Play 2 of them.
You have a way to damage? Oh, you don't have a Bowtruckle.
Yeah, I mean, you're also not dealing me damage.
Well, I'm just saying, but I don't have a match in place. So if you had a Bowtruckle
no.
and like the Fumos, now would be the time.
Nope, I do not. I also can't afford it because I'm starved for lessons. Right
You only have 2 lessons, right?
Yeah, so I've got a total of 4.
4, right? Because
but
of your
it's
books.
not enough to do the cute things.
That is fair.
So I'm stumbling on lessons at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not doing much. All right, so I'm gonna draw. What does this card do? That's an interesting card. Okay. So play a Muddy Practice.
Yep.
And then I'll play a copy of Ouch.
Sure.
Oh, no. Yeah, I got F6. Deal 5 damage to your opponent. And then if they have any cards in their hand, choose and discard one of them. Done.
Discard a card. Okay. I'm going to discard Bowtruckle.
Go ahead.
Draw. I am... Yes, question if it's worth doing this. I guess let's try it. Let's see how it goes. I'll play Through the Arch.
Oh, nice. Okay. So I can't play any spells.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So you have to skip 4 actions to solve it.
Yeah. All right. You done?
Yeah.
Draw. All right. Well, we'll be skipping 2. Go.
Draw. Let's discard 2 cards into this.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, let's discard 2.
That okay.
You're up.
Draw. Discard 1.
Okay.
And draw a card.
All right. That was clever. I can't stop it now. All
Nope,
right.
not if you, yeah, because now I've still got 2 cards in my hand. So, yeah.
So I'll just skip 2 actions and give up on this thing
Okay.
to do this thing.
Okay, so that's fine. So yeah, still leave that here. But yeah, so you skipped 4 actions. You may put an item from your discard pile into your hand.
Oh, joy. I don't have any.
Yeah.
Gotta love those adventure cards that give you no reward every time.
Well, the risk of playing this is like if you decided to do this as opposed to just dumping cards into here, that would have enabled you to beat me at this race.
Huh.
By me, because you played this,
Uh-huh.
then I played this.
Uh-huh.
If you chose to just start ditching cards into
Right.
this first and ignore this,
Yeah.
you would have beat me on
Sure.
this. So that was the risk of playing this.
Yeah, but I
But
misplayed.
you bought into it, so it worked out.
Yep.
All right, so draw a card.
Yep.
Ooh, well, c'est la vie. I mean, I can't play this while I don't have the lessons anyway. So, ditch 2 cards into it.
Okay. So
Deal
this
you
is going to go away,
9.
and I'm taking 9. No, 10. Because when this goes away, there's no match in play.
Oh, fair enough. So I guess we were doing that wrong.
We did it wrong one time.
Twice, but yeah, it wasn't enough to change the match outcome.
All right.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Okay. Those are my 2 actions. So.
All right, my turn?
Yep.
Draw. All right. And honestly, there's no Bowtruckle in play either, so let's do an Immobilize for an action.
Sure.
And then we'll do an Ouch for an action. So you take 5 and discard a card.
Yeah, so I'm just taking the 5.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have to discard a card. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was discarding all those things anyway. Okay. Draw.
Hmm?
Lesson.
Okay.
Draw.
Draw. New Slytherin Seeker, deal 5 damage to your opponent.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I don't want to do this. We're going to do this first. Play Muddy Practice.
Sure.
Then we'll do New Slytherin Seeker, which is deal 5 damage to your opponent. If there's a match in play, you may have that opponent choose one of their creatures in play and discard it. So this is a new card.
Okay. So then you're obviously going to make me discard one of the ones that has more health on it.
You choose.
Oh, I choose?
All Quidditch cards your opponent gets to choose.
Oh,
That's why
really?
Quidditch stinks.
Oh, okay. But I still do the damage across the board, right? So the damage happens first, and then I choose to discard a card?
Yep. First sentence is do the damage. Okay. Second sentence is...
And it's 5?
Yeah, so you could just, like, have one of the guys take the damage.
And they can only take one at a time.
Right.
But that's what I'm asking. So I'll have it still take the damage,
right.
and then I have to sacrifice.
Yep. And then I'm done.
Okay. Draw.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And another Leaping Toadstool.
Okay. My turn?
Yeah.
Draw. Let's do another Slytherin Seeker.
Okay.
For 5.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to discard this one.
Okay. And then we'll do a Bewitched Snowballs for 3.
Okay. 1, 2.
Okay. And I'm done.
Draw. Draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
First action. Second action. Second action is just going to be to discard a card into your body practice.
Thanks, VD Sams. So apparently a match is considered in play. What he's saying is a match is considered in play until the entire effect is resolved.
Ah.
So
we did it right the first time?
We did it right the first time and did it wrong the second time.
Okay.
So.
All right.
So you just discarded a card?
Into this, yeah.
All right. My turn?
Yep.
All right. I'm just going to discard 2 cards to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 2 here.
I think it was using one of them.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm done.
Draw. And that's worth it. First action.
Oh, nurture. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Second action. Discard.
Yep. Draw.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just discard 2 cards.
Okay.
I'm done.
Draw.
I feel like this is one of the most awkwardly interesting matches to watch.
I mean, yes and no, because all we're doing is sacrificing
Fighting
cards
over...
into muddy practice and fighting over a muddy practice to deal damage.
Stupid.
It's really dumb. So
and we could be playing wrong. There could be a better strategy, but I don't know.
I don't know that there is, just because of this really weird matchup.
Yeah, awkwardness.
All right, so first action is to draw.
I guess whoever created the plant deck did not play around Katie Bell.
No, she just completely wrecks it. And then I will discard 1 card into this.
Sure. My turn?
Yep.
I'm going to play Slytherin Seeker.
Okay.
So it deals 5 damage to you, and then you have to discard a creature in play.
So 1 actually goes over.
Yep.
And then I have to discard a thing.
Yep. And then my last...
That Slytherin Seeker is really nasty against this.
Yeah. There's a lot of cards that are just nasty against this deck.
Yeah. This deck is just, this is just, the worst matchup possible.
All right, so I'm going to discard my 5th card here, which will deal you 10.
Yep.
And I'm out of cards. Yeah. VD Sam's is like, this is interesting because muddy practice is never solved. That's what so VD Sam's, I talked about that in the beginning of this match. I'm like, I'm pretty sure people only play muddy practice because nobody ever wants to solve it. Yeah. But we were having, I couldn't deal her damage because all my spells were just getting thrown on her creatures, and I knew she could nurture them off, and then the Bowtruckle, and
so lesson and draw.
Okay. My turn?
Yep.
I'll draw a card.
Go get your stupid muddy practice back and wreck my day?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's the right play. Yeah, I mean.
That's an action, and then
Putting it in your hand is an
Problem,
action.
no, it's putting it into play.
Is it?
During your turn, you may discard this card. If you do, choose a non... You know, I don't even think I want to do this. This says, during your turn, you may discard this card from play. If you do, choose a non-healing match with a printed power of 1 and you just play it as if it were in your hand.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you could just play it.
But I don't think I want to put it in play because I have no cards to even pitch to it. So I'm just going to put it in play and then let you discard it and deal me 10. That makes no sense. I'm just going to play an ouch.
Okay.
Deal you 5 damage, and then you have to discard a card. And then I'm just going to draw a card. I'm done.
And discard a card. Okay. Yeah,
Go.
those cards that make me discard my cards too make it so I can't even do the money match.
You can't build
It's
up the
just
hand, yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
like your deck is just perfectly suited to wreck this deck.
Yeah.
It's like completely random.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, these decks just have a really awkward interaction.
yeah, so I'm gonna draw a card with my first action. Second action.
Like, if that deck just had another
draw.
win condition, it would be, like, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But if your only win condition is to Bowtruckle.
Or it's also the Dragon-Dung Compost, but you have to
Right.
get up to 7
7.
lessons, and I stumbled.
Yeah, and
And
you're only at
I
7
just
now.
got to 7,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Right.
So that's part of the problem
My turn?
too. Yep. Mhm.
Draw a card. Draw. Draw. Go.
Draw. So we'll play the Dragon-Dung Compost finally. So it's before each of my turns, count the number of plants in play and do that much damage.
Oh, does it each turn?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
And it's an item, so it's
Yeah,
it's a
okay.
little hard to deal with. So that was first action. Second action is just going to be to nurture.
Oh, nice. Okay. Were those things almost dead?
No, they weren't even close.
Oh, so why
Right.
not just hold on to it?
Just
Okay.
it's fine.
All right.
Go
Done?
ahead. Yep.
So now we've got Dragon-Dung Compost. So now I think we're going to use this
Yep.
to get the muddy practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I can start preventing the damage from the Dragon-Dung Compost.
Yep.
And then we will... How many cards in here? 3?
3.
Stupid. We will... I guess we'll just discard 2 cards to it. Oh, no.
You can't.
One.
You can only do 1. Yeah.
1 card. Yeah.
All right. Draw. So 3. So you take 2. And yeah, I'm just gonna ditch 2 cards.
Yep. Okay.
Go
My
ahead.
turn. Draw. Yeah, I'm going to 6. Do I have anything in my deck that costs 7?
You have 5, not 6.
Oh, 5 now because I
'Cause you got rid of
sacrificed that thing.
book.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so that makes sense. So then we will... Yeah, we'll just discard 2 cards. Put 2 on here. Done.
Draw.
And I take 2 from the Dragon-Dung?
Correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still just force you to do it.
Yeah. Draw. So bad. All right,
Solving.
deal you 10.
Okay, so prevent 3
I have no
and
actions.
7.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Snap. I only have 3 cards left in my deck.
Yep. Go.
Draw. So deal you 2. No, 3
3.
because the match is gone.
Yep.
Okay, so I think this is my best bet. First action is to play Bowtruckle.
Nice.
Second action is to do Fumos.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm going to
You're gonna take 3.
take more than that because Fumos hits all the creatures,
Right,
right?
but whenever another one of your plants takes damage, this card does 1 damage.
Another one. Whenever another
Yeah.
So it doesn't include itself.
Right.
So I'm going to take 6.
Yeah.
Well,
no, you're going to take 3.
No.
Because it only does 1 damage.
But it's whenever it would take damage, it takes 2. So it wouldn't do it twice?
No.
Whenever another one of your planets takes damage, this card deals 1 damage to an opponent of your choice. Okay.
Anytime it takes damage, it's taking 2 damage. You take
It's 1 instance. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so you're just taking 3.
Okay.
And he's going to die.
But I also take 3 from... Well, couldn't you prevent the damage to him with one of the other flowers?
No, because it's damage to me.
Oh.
Once per turn, you may let Umbrella Flowers take 1 damage that you were going to take.
Okay, so it kills the Bowtruckle. Okay. And then, he was in play with this, so wouldn't I take 4?
No. This happens before my turn starts. You did that already.
Did you just play the Bowtruckle?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So all I'm doing is 3.
Okay.
Best I could do.
Done?
Yep. I don't know what you're doing.
Searching for my deck for a match.
Oh, okay.
Done.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'll discard a card.
Sure.
Go.
I mean, I have a singular card left in my deck,
Yeah.
so draw a card and match is over.
Okay. Well, I didn't have a way to kill you, so...
Your decking me is your way of killing
Well, I mean,
me.
this was my hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, Katie Bell is the perfect nerf to plants.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
Like, in every way, she's the perfect nerf to plants.
Yeah.
Which is very sad.
Yeah, it needed...
I don't know how this deck gets around it.
It needed, like, more cards like Dragon-Dung Compost.
Yeah, there was only 2 copies of it, but it's also a 7,
Yeah.
which is hard to get to.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
it needed some kind of other win condition, like another type of thing in the sideboard to... Because there's nothing that deals with matches that I know of.
No.
It was just awkward.
Yeah, it was just very sad.
VD Sam's is yay Quidditch. I'm sad though because I kind of wanted that that deck to kind of move on. Yeah, it was a really interesting deck.
Yeah, this deck I really liked, but it just got completely nerfed. This is just like the worst
I feel like too, like
matchup.
we probably, both probably made a ton of errors, and there's probably better ways to play the match. But
I mean,
it was awkward.
I don't know that. I feel like that was the only way for this deck to win was to just beat your matches.
Yeah.
That was all it could do.
Yeah.
All of its like tricks were irrelevant against you. Because you made me discard creatures, you made me discard cards to prevent me from being able to do your money matches.
She said there's Cobra Lilies deal direct damage, but not a ton.
Cobra Lilies don't do direct damage. They remove damage counters from themselves after the end of the round. So at the end of each of your turns, remove all damage counters from Cobra Lily.
Hmm.
So in theory, like if you Fumos your Cobra Lily, it lives, still does some damage, and then you just remove all the damage.
Yeah, the
counters
Fumos
from
definitely seems like a good part. The only weird thing is
yes and no.
how do you protect the Bowtruckle from the Fumos?
You can't.
Yeah, that's a little awkward.
Yeah, I mean, although I guess technically the Bowtruckle has +2 health, so technically it wouldn't have killed it.
Oh, so we would have kept it around.
It would have been around for one more turn,
Yeah.
and then it would have still not changed the outcome of the match. But yeah, so you can Fumos once with the Bowtruckle.
Well, and then you could nurture all your stuff.
Correct.
So yeah, you Fumos, you nurture.
Right.
But again, it's hard to do when you can't do anything while there's a match in play.
Correct.
That was the problem.
Yes.
This
deck can't do any of its tricks.
Right.
With a match and Katie Bell.
The problem is with Katie Bell, you can't interact with her because she's a
starting character.
You know what this deck needed? Dumbledore's suspension.
Does it blank the whole thing?
I think it blanks all the text on a character.
Maybe.
That's what this deck. That deck needed Dumbledore's suspension in the sideboard just because of Katie Bell.
Yeah. Which nobody probably even thought that was a thing.
Yeah. Pull up Dumbledore's suspension on Accio. I think that's what it does. I think that would be the best answer. Because this was a super interesting deck. But if I played it in a tournament, you got to make sure if there's something that just destroys your deck, you have an answer for it. That's what sideboards are for.
Play this card only if you have at least 4 lessons in play. Your opponent's starting character loses all abilities, including any lessons provided. To solve, your opponent skips a total of 3 actions.
Yeah. So that card has to be in the sideboard.
Probably that over Through the Arch.
Yeah. Well, Through the Arch is just such a universal, like, good card that I feel like everyone just puts it in sideboards.
Yeah, I get it.
But it definitely, I don't know what you would take out because I haven't played enough.
Yeah.
It could also be that Katie Bell is not really a real deck and it's just a bad matchup.
Yeah.
But I feel like if there's a silver bullet out there that literally just gives your deck almost no chance to win, those are the cards that should be in your sideboard.
Right.
But like I said, there's also that calculation. Like I know in Magic, like there's times when you go to a tournament, right? And you build your deck and you're like, I know what everyone's coming.
Yeah.
And then you sit down against some kid who has like the
weird jank.
Their F&M special that they went to this major tournament with.
Yeah.
And like they have a card that just wrecks your day.
Yeah.
And you just take it as a loss because it's like, I have no answer to that deck.
Yeah.
You know, and they just
a weird jank thing.
They just combo away or play the card that wrecks you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, there's 6 more rounds.
Yep.
You know, and like you just accept certain losses like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I had that happen with multiple Magic events where I've gone with a deck. You know, like back in the early days of Magic, there was a lot of hate cards.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of cards like the adventure cards that were just they were hate cards. You've experienced them in old school, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea of like destroy all islands.
Right.
Like I've been to a tournament where like I'm playing my white deck and I've got all the thing and someone plays a spell that's a red card. It says destroy all white permanents.
Yeah.
And you're just like scoop.
Yeah.
Like there's no coming back from that card.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
You just get wrecked.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, I would like to keep this deck list around and maybe try it again with our next bracket because I feel like this deck could actually make it quite far.
I think so too.
Against someone that doesn't just completely neuter its entire strategy.
Yeah. Well, you know, we are hopefully we'll be getting some shots soon and people will start playing games again. This could be your deck.
Yeah.
That could be the deck that you like to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it seemed very much your alley.
All right, so we're flipped back to our bracket. So Professor Sprout advances on the left-hand side. We have one more match left in our top 16.
Yep.
Which is Colin Creevy versus Oliver Wood. And
is that another Quidditch? I think there was 3 Quidditch
Oliver
decks.
Wood would probably be Quidditch themed because he's the Quidditch captain early on.
Yeah, and I think his ability is like boosting up a Quidditch card, so we might get another Quidditch match.
Yeah, Colin Creevy is he's just like the all-around character that everybody uses for character control. So that might be more of a character control deck. I don't know.
I tried to really when I was. So the one thing I did with this Quidditch Cup or Triwizard tournament when I was picking the decks, I made sure that every single person who submitted a deck list
has an entry.
Yeah. And then any other entries I picked, I tried to make sure that there was like deck diversity. So I didn't pick like if there's multiple Quidditch decks, they're not the same type of Quidditch deck.
Right.
Like this one was very different than the last Quidditch deck we played.
And like it'll be interesting to see like how well that deck can do against other decks. Because I didn't even really see what your strategy is either because we were just fighting over buddy practices the whole game.
This deck had a pretty simple strategy. It was literally
our overhead here.
This deck was literally, and it was pretty smart whoever designed this deck, but what they did was they essentially took the basic Quidditch idea of playing Quidditch spells to damage your opponent, getting a bonus from having a match in play,
right? And
the blue in the deck is ways to deal with your opponent's creatures,
right? Which Quidditch has a hard time with.
Remember when I was first starting to play this game and I was trying to play Quidditch?
Yeah,
like I lost every game.
Yeah.
Like
because creatures were just so strong and you
the creatures were just coming down and there was no cards that killed creatures. So the Immobulus deals with creatures, the rope binds deal with creatures, the snowballs, Oh, and the new
Seekers,
Seekers
the new Seeker,
and
for
the
sure.
Snowballs.
Yeah.
This card's not as good.
But it makes you discard them.
It's good, but it's not as good because your opponent gets to choose. And whenever your opponent
Sure.
gets to choose, it's never the best option.
I mean, that's fair.
But if you only have good creatures, then,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
You know.
It's still taking things off the board that are dealing you
But
damage.
this card is super good.
Yeah. It feels like that card, because this is there, it feels like maybe you want like a Fumos or two in your sideboard.
There was no Fumoses in the sideboard.
Yeah. But I feel like if you're playing this and it resolves the way that we were discussing, playing a Fumos
what's also good about this card is
great.
it actually prevents all damage from your opponent's creatures for a turn. So it's like a fog.
Right.
So you play, it's like, oh, you got 4 creatures. Nope, none of them hit me.
Right.
And then
But it'd be nice to just do a board wipe. Have the ability to combo it up and do a board wipe. It's still great to just basically be a dung bomb and prevent all damage on the next turn. But it'd be nice to be able to combo it up with a Fumos if you really needed to against just like creature aggro type decks. That would be an interesting consideration for sideboard. But
yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting deck. I could see the inconsistency. I could see why they have so many lessons.
You didn't flood out, I don't think.
No, I don't.
Well, I guess you were discarding so many cards into Muddy Practice, you might have.
I was totally flooding out.
Yeah.
But like I was.
But it didn't matter because
it was using them all just to.
Yeah.
Just to get to the Muddy Practices,
Right.
which was stupid. But it was like I noticed that first game, I almost died because I let you finish too many of these Muddy Practices.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, well, now if I play this card, it protects me while it's in play.
Right.
Which is fine. But then it's like, if you're defeating it, just hitting me for 10 each time,
right.
I'm eventually still going to lose this stupid game.
For sure.
So fighting over Muddy Practices was odd.
Yeah. Well, especially because you're playing it, you always have the opportunity to race me and beat me to it. Because if you play it as your first action and then you immediately stack a card into it, if you're on that train of now two more turns it's gone, like I can't beat you.
No,
that I can't win that race.
Yeah.
So the only way I can win the race is if I put 2 on it first.
Right.
And then it's fine. But but then when I have a low hand, it still can wreck me because I have to like draw the card just to discard it into the Muddy Practice.
Yeah, the card that would totally wreck this deck would be like that would be awesome if your deck had it, would be like, obviously like Dobby's Disappearance, where you you can bounce the match to my hand. Yeah. So it's like I play it, I discard cards to it.
Right.
And then
that's
you're like,
the only time it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you've already stacked a bunch of cards into it and then I bounce it, then yes, that's fine.
That's just a wrecking.
Correct.
Yeah. And especially if it was Dobby's Disappearance, because you only bounce it, but then you have 2 actions.
Right.
So you could be like, oh, I'll play my cards that damage you at this point,
Right.
But unfortunately, I don't think there's a blue spell that bounces a permanent. I think that's only a Transfiguration ability.
Yeah, I think so.
But who knows? Yeah. Maybe with future...
we're just used to blue bouncing stuff because of Magic.
Yeah. Maybe future spells will come out in... sets.
So next week is our last match in the top 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be moving on to our top 8. And I think once we wrap the top 16, that's when we'll do voting for most original deck, I think. Was that our plan?
Yeah.
So we'll sort through how we're going to do that.
We'll put that poll up on social media. Probably just put it up on the
Yeah, so next week we'll have
Facebook
information on how we're going to do that. But, if you want to go back to the older VODs or YouTube channel.
We'll post all the decks.
You want to do it that way?
Yeah, well, you could still go back through the videos and watch them if you like. But
yeah, all the deck lists are in the descriptions of the videos. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. Oh, Hover Charm apparently is, Diaz says Hover Charm is a blue card that bounces something.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
I'll pull it up really quick because now I'm curious. I spelled charm wrong because I'm really smart. Choose one of your opponent's cards in play other than their starting character and return it to their hand. Yep, that is a blue bounce spell.
There you go.
There you go.
It already exists.
Yep. And Charms Accident also, maybe? Let's see, that's what Vaughn said. Do 2 damage to your opponent. You may also choose a non-healing item in play and return it to its owner hand. So that's items only, right? Yeah. Vaughn
so that wouldn't work on...
Yeah, it wouldn't work on matches specifically, but the Hover Charm would. All right, so yeah, so next week is our last match in the top 16, and we'll be posting information on how to vote for the most original deck list winner. And I actually have to get to work on finalizing what we're making for that prize support. So
yeah,
GG.
yeah, and then yeah,
It'll be a surprise.
We have to do that, and then we'll get it. Hopefully, we could just get it. Have Ron bring it over when he comes.
Yeah, we'll sort through it.
Yeah.
But good stuff ahead. Thanks for joining us, guys. We always appreciate you popping in and watching and contributing to our conversation. And
see you next week.
Yeah, until the next Magical Monday.